Attention passionate Philadelphia, EAGLES. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Philadelphia Eagles' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Philadelphia Eagles fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Philadelphia, EAGLESFANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. Hold on to your seats because what just happened in the NFL landscape is nothing short of a seismic shift, especially for the Eagles and the NFC East. Just when we thought the division was shaping up to be a tight race, with the Cowboys, Giants, and Eagles all fighting for supremacy, a blockbuster trade has just sent shockwaves through the league. The Indianapolis Colts, yes, the Colts have traded Daniel Jones to the Philadelphia Eagles. That's right, the New York Giants' former starting quarterback now heading to Philly. And let's be honest, this move could be a game-changer not just for the Eagles but for the entire NFC East and possibly the entire postseason picture. So how did we get here? The Colts, after their recent offseason moves, found themselves in a tricky spot. They've got Anthony Richardson, the former top 5 pick, back practicing with the team. And let's not forget, Richardson's return has sparked a lot of discussion. Yes, he's had his injury concerns, and yes, many are questioning if he can stay healthy for a full season. But the upside? It's enormous. Richardson's rushing ability alone makes him a nightmare for defenses. When you combine that with the fact that the Colts have one of the best weapon rooms in the NFL, the picture becomes even more intriguing. I'm talking about Jonathan Taylor, of course, the superstar running back, but also a talented group of receivers, Michael Pittman Jr., and Alec Pierce as the X receivers, then Josh Downs and A.D. Mitchell as the slot or Z receivers. That's a potent offensive core, one that could become even more dangerous if Richardson hits his stride early in the season. Now, here's where things get really interesting. The Colts, with their solid weapons and Richardson's rushing threat, are clearly eyeing a playoff push, but they also have to make some tough decisions. If Richardson proves he's their franchise quarterback, the Colts might be hesitant to keep a veteran like Daniel Jones around, especially with his contract situation. And that's where the Eagles come into play. The Eagles, as you all know, are coming off a deep playoff run and are always looking to strengthen their roster. Their backup quarterback situation has been a topic of discussion, especially with Jalen Hurts firmly established as their starting QB, but behind him, the options aren't exactly overwhelming. The Eagles have drafted Kyle McCord, a young quarterback with potential, maybe even developing into a Brock Purdy-type player, a guy who can come in and manage the game efficiently. But let's be honest, the Eagles are not counting on McCord to be their savior. They're relying on Tanner McKee as their backup, and while he's a promising prospect, many Eagles fans aren't exactly sold on him being ready to step in during a playoff run. That's why acquiring Daniel Jones makes a ton of sense. He's 28 years old, with over 70 career NFL starts under his belt, giving him the veteran experience that the Eagles would value immensely. He's someone who can step in if Jalen Hurts needs a breather or if an injury occurs, and his familiarity with a high-pressure environment makes him an ideal backup. Plus, his contract situation is manageable, just 1 year left, which gives the Eagles some flexibility moving forward. But why would the Colts trade Daniel Jones to the Eagles? Well, if Richardson continues to develop and shows that he can be the guy, the Colts might be willing to part ways with Jones, especially if they see a window where they can contend with Richardson leading the charge. Trade makes perfect sense for both sides. The Colts get a young, talented quarterback with upside, and the Eagles add a reliable veteran to their QB room. And let's not forget, Daniel Jones has proven in the past that he can be a solid starter, capable of executing a game plan, making smart decisions, and managing the offense effectively. That kind of stability is exactly what the Eagles want behind Hurts. Now, let's dive a little deeper into what this means for the Eagles' season. The team has been built around Jalen Hurts' dual threat ability, but having a guy like Daniel Jones as a backup is a huge boost. It provides peace of mind, knowing that if Hurts gets hurt or needs a rest, the offense can keep rolling without too much drop-off. It also adds a layer of competition and motivation within the QB room, pushing McCord and McKee to elevate their games. This move signals that the Eagles are serious about maintaining their championship window and are willing to make bold moves to stay ahead of their rivals. And speaking of rivals, this trade shifts the power balance in the NFC East. The Cowboys, Giants, and now the Eagles are all making moves to improve their rosters, but the addition of Daniel Jones gives the Eagles a significant advantage at quarterback depth. It's a move that could pay dividends during the grueling playoff push, especially in a league where injuries are inevitable, and having a reliable veteran backup can make all the difference. Now, from the Giants' perspective, this is a tough pill to swallow. Daniel Jones had his ups and downs in New York, but he proved he could be a solid starter, and many fans and analysts believed he was finally hitting his stride. His departure leaves a void, and it will be interesting to see who the Giants turn to as their starter now. Will they give the young quarterback they drafted last year more reps, or do they have another plan in mind? Only time will tell, but one thing is clear. The Giants are entering a new chapter, and they will have to rebuild their QB room from scratch. Back to the Eagles, this trade also signals the team's confidence in Jalen Hurts. They see him as their franchise quarterback for the foreseeable future, but smart organizations always prepare for contingencies. Having Daniel Jones on the roster means the Eagles are covered, and this kind of strategic planning is what separates good teams from great ones. It's about building a roster with depth, versatility, and leadership, and Jones brings all of that to the table. Plus, his familiarity with NFL defenses and experience in high-pressure situations align perfectly with the Eagles' championship ambitions. As we look ahead to the season, the NFC East promises to be one of the most exciting divisions in recent memory. The Cowboys, Giants, and Eagles are all making moves that show they're serious about competing at the highest level. The Eagles, with this addition of Daniel Jones, have just fortified one of the most complete rosters in the league. Their defense remains stout, their offensive line is among the best, and now, with a veteran backup quarterback, they have even more stability. The coaching staff, led by Nick Sirianni, will surely be utilizing this depth to keep the team fresh and prepared for every challenge. And let's not forget the bigger picture here. The Eagles are aiming for their third Super Bowl appearance in the last 5 seasons. They've built a roster that's ready to contend, and moves like this show their commitment to maintaining that window of opportunity. Jalen Hurts is at the peak of his powers, but having Daniel Jones ready to step in, if needed, ensures that the team's momentum doesn't falter, no matter what the season throws at them. It's a classic example of smart roster management, adding talent without sacrificing chemistry or future flexibility. Now, I want to emphasize how this trade could impact the division and the league as a whole. The NFC East has always been known for its fierce rivalries, and with these kinds of moves, the competition is only intensifying. The Cowboys are also making moves to improve their defense, and the Giants are trying to find their footing after a rebuilding phase. But the Eagles' addition of Daniel Jones as a backup quarterback is a statement. They're not just playing for this year, they're playing for the future, and they're doing everything they can to stay on top. This trade also raises questions about the Colts' strategy moving forward. With Richardson's development and the addition of a veteran like Jones, Indianapolis seems to be preparing for a competitive season, possibly with an eye on the playoffs. Richardson's health and progress will be crucial, but their depth at receiver and running back makes them a team to watch. They could be a dark horse in the AFC if everything clicks, especially with that explosive offense. So, for Eagles fans, this is a moment to be excited, not just because of the immediate benefits on the roster, but because it signals a team that's serious about winning now and in the future. The franchise has always been about building a team that can compete for titles, and this move fits perfectly into that philosophy. It's about adding experienced players who can step in and perform when needed, maintaining a competitive edge, and reinforcing that insatiable hunger for greatness. And finally, as we wrap up, I want to remind everyone that football is a game of inches, of moments, of decisions that can alter the course of history. The Eagles' front office clearly believes that adding Daniel Jones gives them that extra edge. The NFC East just got even more unpredictable, and as fans, we should be thrilled to witness this real-time chess match unfold. And now, Philadelphia Eagles fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Philadelphia Eagles. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Philadelphia Eagles news.